Hello everyone, this video is about deploying React Docker build production ready app in Elastic Beanstalk, which will make our application global in minutes. We'll be using tools such as GitHub and Travis CI for continuous integration, building the app to make it microservice when there is a change occurred in your branch, and AWS Cloud Platform will be using Elastic Beanstalk to deploy the production ready container and later access it using the internet. So when it comes to GitHub, now suppose you're using the source code management as GitHub and you have created a feature branch where all of your features have been worked with your developers, and now it's ready for production, so you merge it into a main branch. So when you merge it into your main branch, the Travis CI will make sure that a trigger is placed on your main branch, and it'll check out the changes and build that particular container and deploy it into your AWS cloud platform in the Elastic Beanstalk. Now, what is Elastic Beanstalk? Elastic Beanstalk is like managed by AWS. It automatically creates containers and manages containers, like it's an orchestration tool for containers, and it is managed by AWS. So there's no manual need for managing those containers, and it will deploy an application out of your container using a load balancer. Suppose there is a lot of traffic in your website, it will automatically scale. If there is no traffic in your website, like there is no much load in your application, it will descale, or it will come down to the necessary resources for that particular container. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out. Yes, as we had seen in the previous video, that this Dockerfile can be used by development environment but not for the production, because the command we will use in the production is npm build, and in the production in the development environment, the developers are using npm run start for the container. So this particular dockerfile.dev is suitable for the development environment, and for the production environment we will create a Dockerfile without any extension in the root directory. So let me create a Dockerfile, and the Dockerfile will be over here. We'll be using the second layer will be Nginx. First, we'll use the Node Alpine image to build the particular application Docker build. Whenever it's building dynamically, it builds the first layer with the Node Alpine image and build npm build, and we'll make a folder ready for the production, and then we'll copy the build folder to the Nginx server folder where the files will be hosted. So let me just start. So we will say for production need we will use Nginx. Okay, and then we'll say from the base image should be Node Alpine node, and the tag will be 16 Alpine. Okay, and we'll say as abbreviation as builder. We'll give an alias for this particular first layer image called builder. Okay, and then we'll say working directory should be slash app directory. Okay, and then we will say run. We'll copy the folder front end where our application is there, React application, and package.json file to the current working directory, and then run npm build, which will create a production ready folder that is using npm run build. So as you can see over here, the build and package.json file, this particular command reads this particular script and builds a package out of it. So we'll say npm run build inside the container to build a particular package for our application, and we will use the second layer to host the build production package that is from Nginx. Okay, and then we'll say expose 80. Okay, and we'll say copy from the builder layer image, that is the first layer image, to /app. From /app build, we'll copy the build folder to user share /nginx/html. So inside the container, this particular path is used to host the file systems, or use the static file system in the Nginx container. So I have built a image out of it, so let me just show you. So docker images grep react. Okay, yeah, so docker run with port number, localhost port number should be 8080, and the container port should be 80, and the image name is this. Okay, with R. So let me run it. So container is running. Let me check by going into localhost 8080. So as you can see, our application is being hosted by Nginx layer. Now if we go into the next or any other path except, so it will say that Nginx 404 not found, and if we say application, nothing is found. If we go to the / path, the original path, it will be hosted by Nginx. Okay, now this is my system. Now we will build a docker, we will use this particular production ready container to be deployed by using Amazon cloud provider using Elastic Beanstalk, and which will be globally globally available for all the users. So it'll be very easy. So let me just show you. Let me kill the container for now. So yeah, the container is killed. Okay, now we have to make sure that we have created a Travis CI. So what is Travis CI? First, you need to create an account in Travis CI by signing in and using GitHub. So once you have authenticated using GitHub, you will see that you have an GitHub apps integration in your profile, and it is not free. As of now, you can use this Travis CI by checking out your small amount, that is $1 or 83 INR rupees, and you will be credited with 10,000 credits. So you can use this 10,000 credits till whatever the 1 month, or how much ever you're using, or how much ever your plan is about. Okay, so as you can see, I've configured my repository over here. So let me just show you. Go to the manage repositories on settings. So now let me just give. So as you can see over here, I have only selected repositories, and this is the selected repository. So I have approved and installed, and that's why my repository is available over here. So yes, now let's create a Travis CI file. So on your root directory, you need to create a .travis, okay, .yaml file. Okay, make sure the extension is like this dot. It's a hidden file with travis.yml. okay, and you need to write this, and I'm in my feature branch. So I will say how do I run my Travis CI. So how to make sure I run, I need sudo privileges for Docker system in my virtual machine in Travis. So I will say to, let me comment, to make sure Docker runs as root privileges. My spelling might be wrong. Okay, and then sudo is required. Okay, and the services will be Docker, as we need Docker for this. Okay, and then we will say before install we need to do some unit test cases. So we will say install. Before install, the particular steps are docker build, tag it with my Docker Hub repository, saying the image name should be this, and the Dockerfile.dev is available in front-end Dockerfile.dev. So I will say this. So front end Docker /Dockerfile.dev. okay, and I will say what shall I, after building we'll run the unit test cases. So we'll say script. We will use a script to run this particular unit test cases. So we'll say docker run, making sure that the interactive terminal ends when the unit test cases are running. So I will use ci equals true to make sure the terminal ends, because we won't be using the interactive terminal in Travis CI. Now we will run the above tagged image. So npm run test coverage. Okay, let's save it, and let's check whether our get status. Okay, so we'll add it. Get commit stating that created Travis CI to check out the trigger. So if there are any changes, currently I'm doing changes in my feature branch, so I'm doing any changes over here, my Travis should run after pushing it. So I'll say git push. Now let me check up here in my repository. So as you can see, my particular job is queued, so it'll start in a while. So any changes, it has figured out that this particular changes has been done, and I have created a push. So this particular trigger has been triggered, and it's queuing the process in the machine. So as you can see, our job has started. Okay, okay, okay. There are a few errors stating that it cannot find the Docker file. So I think I'm missing the current directory. Now let's save it and update our feature branch. Get status. Yep. Let's push it. Now we have pushed the changes, and our job is in queue. Yep. So it has received the changes, it has queued, and it's a booting virtual machine to run all the stages. First is Docker build, and second is to run the test cases. So let's see. The logs, it'll take some time. So we need to first build it, and the second is to test the test coverage. Okay, so either you can write it in a JSON format or YAML format. So usually Travis CI is written in YAML. So let's see the logs. It has started. And to use Docker, we said in our YAML file that we need a sudo. So it has found out a Dockerfile over here. It is building all the steps necessary for the Dockerfile. So it is now an npm run install method where all the node modules packages will be installed, and after this step we'll run and npm run start and then use the test coverage. So this will take some time. So it has run all the test cases. So yep, so as you can see, this is Travis CI, and all the feature branch settings have been set. Whenever there was change in my feature branch, it got triggered and it has built all the thing, and this is how automation is achieved. Now let's deploy it using Amazon Elastic Load Balancer. So for that, you have to create an account in AWS. So let me just show you. After creating an account in AWS, that is Amazon Web Service. So let me show you how it's done, how application is deployed. Let me go into the sign in. So let me use my credentials. Okay, we use the password, and here we go. Now you have to search for Elastic Beanstalk. So right on the top of Amazon Web Services, you can say Elastic Beanstalk. Now we will use Elastic Beanstalk. It is managed and run by Amazon. You don't have to worry about like manual configuration about how to create containers in AWS. All will be automatically handled by Elastic Beanstalk. So the steps are, you have to create an application. So let me say Docker React app. Okay, and the platform will be Docker for it, and sample application. Let all the settings be default and just create an application. So it'll take some time. Till then, we'll check out how to use the Travis CI to deploy it in Amazon Web Service. So yep, yes, let's go and write the scripts ahead in YAML format. So we'll say use the deploy functionality, okay, and use the provider and known as Elastic Beanstalk, okay, and then we'll say the region where we need to deploy our application and the app name, and then we'll say environment name, and then we'll say the bucket name where the scripts will be stored or where our Docker file will be stored. So we'll say bucket name, and the path, bucket path, and then we will say on, and it should be, and our Travis CI should trigger on the branch name called main branch. Okay, and we need to create access keys. So access key, okay, access key ID. Okay, and then we will create the secrets in Travis CI as an environmental variable. We won't pass it, or we won't store it as in the text format, because it is very like a vulnerability, or it is a very weak practice if you start giving your access key ID and secret key openly. So for that we'll use the environmental variables. So access key, okay, and then we will say secret access key. Okay, and we will use the variable called, I will just show you how to create these variables. Okay, secret key. Okay, so let's save it and let's check if our environment has been created. It is taking some time. So you can copy this particular application name as we had created. So we can say that this is our application name in the Elastic Beanstalk, and give it up here in application name, like in quotes. Okay, and environment name is this, which is being created right now. Copy it and give it in your environment name within quotes. Okay, and after that the region, it'll take some time for the region to get created. You should see here the region over here is is US East 1. Copy this particular thing, come back and give your region in quotes. Okay, and bucket name and bucket path will be created once you have created your environment. I will just show you that. So for the bucket, you can see an S3, or just click in new tab, open this in new tab, and when the environment is being created, there should be a bucket created. Yep, copy this bucket name for now, and yep, paste it over here. Okay, and after that the bucket path should be your application name. Okay, application name. Okay, let's save it. Now our Travis CI.yaml for continuous integration is completed. Now we have to create secrets and check our environment if it's ready to be deployed. So we'll refresh the page. Yeah, so our environment is ready and the platform is Docker. So as you see, Elastic Beanstalk has automatically created an environment for production with all the containers. So if we deploy an application and if the traffic is more, it will create virtual machines accordingly to it. So let me just show you that how. So this is the application. We will deploy a production app in this particular domain name. So for doing that, what we have to do, we have to go for the search button in IAM and click on, or search for IAM, click on IAM and create a user which will be used by Travis CI to deploy into the Elastic Beanstalk. So for that, let's click on users and create add user, create setting that Docker React app. Okay, and click on next and attach policies directly. Okay, and then you will search for second. So you need to search for Elastic Beanstalk policy that has all the administrator access. Okay, now I'll select administrator access AWS Elastic Beanstalk and click on next, and after clicking on next, create user. Okay, and let's go in this, go to security credentials and access keys, create access keys and other for now, and rest everything be in default, create access key. Now you have to copy these access keys and create an environmental variable in your Travis CI. So now I'll copy, go to Travis CI, go to my repository settings in Travis CI, go to the over here, I will delete it. Okay, give the value as this, and the name which I used for my access key is this. So I'll say copy the variable name. Okay, and give it up here. Okay, and on main branch. Okay, and one more. The one more is AWS secret key. So we'll copy it, paste it here, and copy the secret from here into the settings, environmental variables, and we're creating variables so that the job takes all these tokens from here and nobody can edit it. So yep, this is good for now, and yep, let's see changes, and let's deploy it and check our application. Okay, let us go to the EBS application and environment. So we would have created not elastic container, elastic beanstalk, and we had created our environment up here. Okay, now let's create a pull request to main branch and check if we have if our application or the Docker container for production has been deployed into our environment. So we'll say git status. Okay, git add, git commit, deploying to production. Okay, git push. Let's check the changes. Okay, we need to create a pull request to our main branch. From feature to main branch, as you can see, there should be, okay, there is a queue. Okay, but this won't get deployed into our Elastic Beanstalk environment. Let's do this and create a pull request. So see, this particular Travis CI branch has been queued. Now, yep, and let's see the job details. Yeah, this is the one, the 13.1. The 12.1 won't do anything. So as you can see, our job is in progress. Yep, we can see our progress over here. So all the tests are done. Now let's see if it's being deployed. The 13th one from our main branch. This particular branch is main, and yes, let's see. Yep, so as you can see, all the ticks have been done. Let's merge it. It's booting up the virtual machine from the main branch. All the checks have been passed. Okay, the job is started. So it has exported our secret keys to be used. Okay, so it's the normal build process and test configurations. All the test passes, and then it'll take a Docker file from and put it into the bucket. Okay, and after putting into the bucket, it will check out and deploy into our production environment using Elastic Beanstalk, and which will be global in minutes. So you can see the usual steps are being performed. So yep, so it is installing the deploy method. All the test coverage has been passed. Now okay, oh, it has said fail to deploy, one gem installed. Okay, invalid option, access key ID. Okay, something is invalid. Let's check. Access key ID. Let me check if the spelling is correct or I've done some typo. ACCESS key and ID. Yep. So yeah, the error was, yep, so we had to place the environmental variables before the on functionality like branch. So I've placed here and checked out, and we can see that our deployment is done. Let's check the Elastic Beanstalk and refresh. There should be a deployment in our environment. Yeah, it says that Elastic Beanstalk is updating your environment. So let's wait for the deployment to be done. There are few errors. Engine exhaustion execution is in. Okay, There are a few errors. Let us see what has happened. I guess everything is appropriate. Let's check again. We are saying that from node alpine 16 alpine, we'll say as builder, then working directory as app to the current directory. Okay, and front end package.json file, and yep, we forgot one thing. Yeah, so we said we need to run npm install all the things, and then we need to copy the front end folder to the current working directory. Okay, let's save this. Okay, let's save this, and yep, and I will show you if the feature branch has done, if something some changes have been done in your feature branches in your source code using the feature branch. Let's show over here. Set of changes done to add feature. Okay, let's save it and say get status. Yep, get commit, deploying it into prod, deploying feature into prod. Okay, let's push and merge it. Okay, our Dockerfile looks good. Install and front end npm run build nginx 18. Yep, it looks good. Let's check the Travis CI job. Yep. Now create a pull request for the main branch from feature branches. Okay, create pull request. We'll wait for all the checks, so it'll take time again, approximately 5 minutes. Let me pause and continue again. As you can see, all the merge or all the test unit cases have been passed from the feature branch. Let's merge and deploy it from our main branch. So yeah, it's been merged. Now let's see. Yep, our main branch has been queued. Yep, it's putting up a virtual machine to deploy it into production environment. So yep, let's check now. It has taken a virtual machine to do our continuous integration and deployment. For the production environment, it will test again the unit test cases and then deploy it into production. So yep, it is finishing the installation step for the test cases. Yep, it's done. It's running the test coverage files. Okay, it has passed all our test cases. Unit test cases have been good. Now deployment. For the deployment, Travis CI is preparing few steps. Installing deploy dependencies. And installing dependencies, it will select as Elastic Beanstalk and use all the information from EBS which we have given and use the environmental variables and deploy it in our environment. So it is taking time. Let's refresh. It says done. Your build exited with status 0. That means our build is successful, and yep, everything is done. Let's check our Elastic Beanstalk environment. Is there any deployment done from Travis? Yep, everything, it is good. It is taking our application changes from the main branch which we have done in our feature branch, and it's being deployed into our production environment by Elastic Beanstalk. So let's go and see the causes. These are previous ones. Now let's see the new ones. Okay, it is deploying into the new versions. Everything should be green, fingers crossed. Now let's refresh our page. It'll take some time. It is deploying. Let's see the causes again. Okay, not yet. Our health check should be okay. So yep, we should wait for a while. Refresh this domain name from here. Okay, let's refresh again. I believe this time it should be completed. Let's view some events. Okay, it is taking some time to deploy into the new version of instance. Till then, let's see our plan, how much is remaining. Into our settings, go to plan. I have used 440 out of 10,000 credits. Good. Let's check. Everything is cleared. Good. Let's refresh. Yep, environment update, new application was deployed. Very good, crazy. So we can see that we have deployed our application. Let's check our domain name. So we should see our application up here. Set of changes done to add feature. Now if I do / anything, so it should throw an error from Nginx, from the production container. So yep, so yeah, as you can see over here, so our Nginx production ready container which hosts the React application in our Elastic Beanstalk. So you can see our application is global. Anyone on the internet can access this. So yep, thank you for watching. Please like and share this particular video and comment down below if you have any doubts and any queries. Thank you, and yep, we have been global in minutes. Thank you.